figure being expended at MSU much in proportion to what the membership looks like. In other words, the sum of our partners have about as many members as we have here at MSU, and that's been the situation since early on, yes.
How does the accounting work for the member affiliates? People, for instance, the one at the university at Yale, one at UT.
Those are part of the $1 million that isn't in the budget request process.
Okay.
While they are partner affiliates. Now, after the 2-year partner affiliate initial grant is over, then they're in the pool with everybody else, and we do allow them to participate in the budget request process, but there's no need to their universities of any specific amounts.
Okay.
Okay? Other questions? Okay. This. There may be some negotiations, well, in fact, there always are, where they will say, we would fund this project except that we think that this ought to be removed from the budget, or if they can do it without this, then we can fund it. So there are a few projects on the bubble each time, and Danielle and I work with the PIs of those projects to make sure that we can fund as much as we possibly can, but we're not spending any money that the executive committee is advising us not to spend, right? So there's that little bit of bubble. But other than that, we strictly follow the recommendations of the executive committee. We'll talk with you further on about how the executive committee includes myself and the guys, of which there are 4, and the partner leads, so and the chairs of the Education Steering Committee and the Steering Committee. Now, the protocol involves a lot of the people that appear anywhere on the for Beacon. And the first group that is leaders. Our Beacon organization chart, we got 4 of these groups. Each group has 2 leaders. In general, kind of one from the biological side. I don't know if you read them, but the election or the assignment of reviewers and the collection of the reviews and the summary of the reviews, those sorts of things. So they are players who are active in those thrust groups. If one of them has a project that's submitted to that thrust group, then they recuse both education-related and diverse. Whoops.
That's my fault.
No problem.
There you go.
Okay. There are also education and diversity-related projects, and those are handled by the 2 steering committees up here, EHRD and the diversity steering people on those, the chairs of those steering committees, and the education and diversity directors coordinate the reviews for the projects that are associated with education and diversity. Now that's a small minority of the overall project, so most of the projects go through the thrust groups. And then, of course, as we said, the next stage is that all of the output of those preliminary assemblies of the data go to the executive committee, where they've had a chance to review proposals, review all of the from the review from the thrust group. Go through a great deal of effort to prioritize situation in regards that are submitted, you can see, in Washington, D.C. The bad news is that we're still not going to fund all the projects that we would like to fund, because we get so many excellent projects submitted, so many good suggestions, that we still have to say no to some of the projects because the budgets are limited. So it's unfortunate, but nonetheless, the percentages here in Beacon are the envy of funding agencies. surely they'd like to be able to fund that fraction of the project. The new collaboration idea of science is that you bring people from different disciplines together who would otherwise be scientific. This stuff, they want to know what is the difference that the being a center is making in the research. That's a big deal, right? They ask us, well, what would have happened if Beacon hadn't been here? Well, today we can make a pretty good case that things are different than if Beacon didn't exist. In the first couple of years, we had to struggle with that a lot, okay? But the idea is we're starting new stuff, and it needs to be relevant to evolution in action. That's what is that it can serve as seed funding, do enough preliminary work that they can write at a much larger level than Beacon could ever fund. Keep that work and things started. The action type research and outside of Beacon, okay? And incidentally, also a very large fraction of the proposals that were submitted. Typically, funding rates in agencies are 5%, 10%, things like this. The success of the Beacon faculty from all of our partner institutions at MSU was much higher than that. Why? Well, because one reason is because institutional gives them a big leg idea. A project at a time. There are two things that are possible. One, you're prepared, then you can submit right up front. Instances that capability. The proposals about 75,000. Okay. Obviously, it's something funded. We want to fund as many people as we can. Yes, they do. Danielle's going to talk about how all that is handled in a minute. But yeah, basically, everything that you write, you'll submit direct costs, and then we will add the indirect costs for your institution to that thing automatically as part of the process. So what we report are the total costs to me, which are the loaded costs, including indirect and including fringes and all that sort of thing.
And also kind of 50% rate, or are those typically higher?
I've never analyzed those.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
We haven't heard anything from the partners in a while. So.
Are the partners still?
I mean, they're there.
You can see them? Okay, all right. We're almost done. Absolutely, will do.
The question is whether continuation requests for
We don't know.
I don't know if it's possible that the show mode and what you're sharing with us. It's in a
But maybe not. Maybe that's going to go to. Yes.
sorry, part of the budget needed. Say yes. There are times that I'm still actually, when we get to the point where we start negotiating for people to cut,